Yeah, big welcome back to MYDO Tackle Talk. Love the show. This is the best things to do. Okay, we are sending some stuff to Mpande, to a guy called Ryan in there's no airport in Johns. We're gonna send it down there with Paxi. Paxi can go everywhere. Between Pluto and Paxi, we are going to make a couple of traces for Ryan, just to show him how they are rigged up. We're going to make one of these guys. This is a shad trace, actually, but it can be used for anything. Can actually catch Natal snook if you trawl it along the back line. Put a longer trace for that. But here we go. You put a pencil bait on here, and cotton it up lacquer. I use squid and sardine guts and all that stuff. Put it on here. Here's this video here. Okay, here goes the cast. And this is high tide going out. So the camera just got sucked by the current. It's so strong. So I cast it way that side and it went out the mouth. But the main thing is you can see how this thing operates on the bottom. It just presents the bait. Well, this time it's sliding along and it doesn't look that clever. But if it was just sitting there and the float come into effect, then the bait will go up a bit like this. So now that's in the sand almost because it's like gunk. Now you've got this orange thing over here or this luminous pink thing over here and you've got a bait on. And the grunter and the carp, all those guys, they come along and they bite down like this. You know, that's why their mouths are shaped like that. They bite down. So if you see this little tiny treble on the back here, and that grunter will come and you'll just nip it, and you got him. No feeding, no hooking in the guts, no circle hooks. It's just one off, bang, and you got the guy. This is why Emilio was fishing on Friday night, and he caught a lot of cobbies like this. And grunter and things. They let a lot go, but they kept quite a few as well. We've been eating fish here day after day, night after night. Okay, so we're going to make, there's another one, a little blue jobby. Cool, eh? You know, these things fish for, you can fish for anything. Give it to their kids or your girlfriend. They just cast it out and then wind. And that's how you catch the shad. As you're winding this bait, yeah, look, the shad like a moving bait. We've been through this a couple of times before. So we're going to have to find a nice one to rig. So this little pink jobby looks really cool. These pink ones are all because of Glenn Williams in Australia. He swears by pink Mydos. So do I. We're going to use wire as well. I'm going to rig with nylon after this. But in the meantime, this rig you could just chuck out there where there's sand. You can just chuck out. Don't throw it in the rocks. And if there are rocks where you're fishing, just put a bung on top. You know, about a half a foot above the, or however far you want to stay away from the rocks. If you're letting your kids use it, then put a bung on there, and you can see as well where it's going, etc. But the concept of a moving bait being applied to the rock and surf zone is what we're all about here. We're literally trawling, so you can cast it out and just wind. And those fish hook themselves, because you'll see these shad. They hit that little baby treble, but now here's the trick. You can't pull hard. You have to fish light, like very light. And then you've got to have a pair of pliers. You can just get that little treble out of its mouth. Very easy compared to a gut hook. You know, look, circle hooks are great. You know, a little bit difficult to fish with sometimes with. This case here is meant to hook them it's in the mouth, where you can see the hook and just get the hook out. So I can't swallow the whole bait. You know, it's like not really possible. Well, I hope they don't. This could be a big fish that swallows the whole bait. Okay, enough talking. Let's choose that treble. This is quite a difficult knot, and I'm using these tiny trebles. You know, they're not strong either. You know, the fish will probably win. That's what happened to Emilio on Friday night. He's lifting up a big fish. Doink! The treble straightened. They should have used a net. I don't think they had a net, but they caught a lot of fish, I didn't tell you. So anyway, we're using wire. I know that's controversial, but there's shad in these estuaries here. Hey, we caught some big ones this year. And this wire is completely covered in bait. You can't see one bit of it. Not one bit. So I'm not sure if you guys know what I'm doing here. I'm making it rigid, which is quite difficult, especially when you're shaking a bit. Alright, there we go. So I've got it like this, and now I'll pull it all up together. That's not easy. And now it's closed, like that. Can you see? Okay, and then we close it off with a haywire twist. You don't have to get too serious with the haywires here, just do 2 or 3. Nothing's going to ever break this knot down here. Okay, so we've got a little single hook Now I've got a little treble hook. Now I've got to go and get one of these little floats. I really like the idea of these little floats. Just give me a sec. I'm not sure if you can hear those puppies next door. Right in the middle of my recording. Okay. Now, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, a slightly bigger cup. Now we put a single hook on with that float. Okay, there's a treble all and a single. Very simple. Straight in. Just tie these two together. Choose a length. So like I said, this is a slightly bigger one, so you can put a longer fillet. And then wrap that up in squiggets or whatever you can get your hands on. But squiggets is fun. Really good, really fun bait to use. Okay. This is the hard part, breaking these little wires off. I mean, you guys know how to tie your own haywire twist by now. There we go. Like that. Okay. Then we get the cup. Chosen this pink one. And a little piece of wire. We can just go in. Now, this is not easy. This in here is not easy because there's an angle there. You just twist it and twist it and twist it, it goes through. If you can't get it through, just make a tiny little kink at the end here, and then it just slides straight through. Okay, like we're in. Now you just got to turn this here, put this on here. Yeah, I should have the camera on my head. That goes in there. And then the whole lot gets put together by pushing this last one up the back hole here. So it's through wired. In other words, it can't break, It can never, ever fail in that part. And then close it off with a haywire twist on top here, which is not easy. I'll tell you that much. This is quite a difficult one. You got to get the kinks to kink. They don't just automatically kink like in that back knot that we tie in the wire. Okay, there we go. Once again, this is just for shad, and the biggest fish you might hook with this is a rock salmon or a big cob or a GT or even a garrick will take a moving bait. Even, I know that you don't think so, but they will. And kingfish, damn GT will. So we make short little leaders here. And then you just go on with the nylon. But if I was fishing for snook out deep, I would have a much longer leader. I'd even actually go like up to a meter and a half. Alright, then you get a swivel, and that's it. So I'm not going to go through the pain of putting the swivel on for you right now. I'm going to rather just switch over into demonstrating how we rig for big paddle tails. Okay, here's the three. This is my favorite one for nighttime because it's 3 ounces and you can feel it, when you feel when it's going. 2 ounces is great, but I've just been using this lately, the 3 ounce. Cast fire. Okay, we're going to get a big old leader here and a big old hook. So, same story. Whole front hole. Like I said, this can be difficult. You just got to twist it around a bit. It's easier than the wire though. Then we got the wires, the line's gone straight through. And you put your big old hook here. Then we're looking like that. And then you close off with a bimini twist. I mean, a uni knot, which is a hell of a lot more easier than a stupid haywire twist. So that's rigged now already. I'm just going to do three loops here because I've run out of leader. Don't have tag, I mean. Now the trick now, once you tighten that uni knot up, is to loosen it. Because it's like a loop knot. A sliding knot, You just got to make sure that this is dangling. So you have to loosen this knot slightly, the top there. And now it's dangling, see? And that enables the side to side swimming, fishing action, like when it's articulated in other words. So you can put a big paddle tail, 7-inch, I don't know how big they get. I had a few monsters before, but like the biggest one you can possibly get. 3 ounces, nighttime, head down to the beach, cast into the gutter, and fuss ho booty. Alright, Ryan, enjoy your kit. Don't forget, like and subscribe. You can buy these Mydos, all kinds of Mydos, on the Sardine website. There are other websites too, and there's also the YouTube channel that you can check, Mydo Tackle Talk. And all these things are all available right here, right now. Get in touch. Ciao. Okay, well, we're fishing in a secret spot. Not going to tell you where it is, but Emilio's got one and I got one on the little MYDO. Have a look there.
Yes, keep on using those baits.
And then I got a much bigger one with a double hook rig, whole side.